Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today we are discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 17, Penumbra. Ezri tracks down Worf when he goes missing in action, and Sisko plans for his future.
We don't get a tidy ending.
Nope. Things are afoot. How did you feel about this one?
I like this one. I don't know where this stuff is going, but I'm curious where it does go. I want to know what Sisko decides, how Ezri and Worf end their camping trip, what the Breen want, why the heck Dukat is a Bajoran. All this stuff really intrigues me.
Dukat as a Bajoran isn't that odd. He's crazy. And this is another crazy plan. When he says, I assure you I won't stay Bajoran forever, I didn't believe that for a second.
Well, you can't believe anything he says.
Some things he says have a feeling that they're grounded in truth, but some of the things he says, you can tell at their very core are just absolute lies. He's not the manipulator that Sisko is.
No, Sisko's in a whole other league.
Well, Dukat's very charismatic, so he is convincing in certain ways. Damar's willing to help him, even though his plan is clearly mad.
Damar is a stupid alcoholic.
Well, alcoholism is a really serious problem. Damar's not stupid. He's very clever. He took down the wormhole minefield.
That was a fluke. I wasn't saying he's stupid because he's an alcoholic, but
Okay.
he is an alcoholic, and that compromises him.
He is also a patriot. He seems to have no great love for the Founders or the Dominion.
That was pretty cool when he challenged the idea of the Founders being gods. Right to Wei Yun's face.
He's done that before. I think he did something similar in Treachery, Faith in the Great River.
It didn't come off as new, but he's not backing off. He's still sticking with that.
He doesn't back off. I think the only time we've seen him back off is when Kira beat the living pip out of him. That was the only time where he kind of said, okay, fair enough.
So he's not completely stupid if he knows to back off after Kira attacks you.
I don't think you need to be smart to understand that. But why is he stupid? He's a smart guy.
I don't know. I got stuck on that, and then I kept going with it, hoping you wouldn't challenge it.
He's always seemed sharp. He constantly criticizes Williams' battle plans. Sometimes for better, sometimes for worse.
I think in my mind he is tainted because of his proximity to Dukat.
Wei Yun would dismiss Dukat as a crackpot, but Damar knows that Dukat can get results of some sort. But the problem is Dukat isn't incompetent. He's mad. There's a difference. And giving him an inch of rope now and again probably isn't that bad a thing.
What does Damar want? What is his goal?
Well, what do you think his goal is?
I don't know. I was thinking about it right now. It seems like he wants this all to be over so he can hang out with babes and drink, and that's it. And this is all a nuisance.
That's a very relatable desire. Yeah, he wants the war to be over, I think. He's always going on about how tons of Cardassians have died and everyone's miserable.
That's his defining characteristic right now. I'm tired of this. Please stop.
He doesn't want to lose, though. He wants to win.
Well, if he wins, he gets more alcohol and more babes.
You guess? If he loses, he probably gets locked up for war crimes or something.
Which leads to less alcohol and fewer babes.
Okay, you're correct then. Cisco was sort of not doing a lot in this episode. Well, he was doing a lot, but it was not really sci-fi stuff.
He was building a dollhouse.
That makes sense. You just replicate all the bits and design the house. When you have it the way you like it, you just replicate the bits big and put them together.
I really like the proposal here. It evolves naturally and it was sweet. I'm a sucker for marriage proposals in TV shows, but it's well done here.
It made me chuckle the way he phrased it at first. Let's get married.
It's a very Cisco way to propose.
This is the plan. We are going to get married. Are you in? Are you on board?
He
Before
doesn't
it, there's
ask
a
for
question.
input. This is
Hey.
what we're doing. Follow my lead. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm glad he followed it up with a traditional style proposal,
Yeah.
e.g., one that's an actual question.
Oh, right. Will you marry me?
It's I just chuckled so much that he just phrased it as imperative. Is that the word?
It's a command.
Yeah, he phrased it as an order almost. Or it's more like a plan. It's like that's what it makes me think. This is the plan.
His work is bleeding into his personal life.
With Cisco, it's always personal.
There is no work-life balance. It's all life for him. He doesn't realize he's working.
He's planning the rest of his life here. It seems like he's gonna retire.
Which you should never say aloud during wartime, because that means you're going to die. And I know you can't speak to this because you know what happens, but I think he's going to die now after that speech about retiring and how great life will be on this little Bajoran piece of land.
Oh, I agree entirely. It's what, episode 17 from 26, 9 episodes. You can't say, oh, I'm only 9 episodes to retirement.
Yeah, it's the same thing that you always see in cop movies where
Yeah.
the one character, one more day to retirement or whatever, X number of days.
It's a death sentence.
Yeah. Sorry, Cisco, you're gonna die now. Especially because he is space Jesus and Jesus died, so maybe he'll come back, but
Whoa,
he has to die
spoilers.
now.
You'll just spoil a book like that.
2,000-year-old spoiler.
The Cisco plotline, whilst the majority of it was a bit sort of rom-com, which is fine, I don't mind having character development that doesn't directly involve lasers. I mean, once in a while. The last part of it was a prophet vision. One which was more direct than they have been in the past, where they said, don't marry Cassidy.
Yeah, it was so direct that they have been frustratingly ambiguous before, but here, nope, don't do this one thing that you really want to do.
The last time they told him not to do something, Jadzia died, although she probably would have died anyway. So, are you going to place a bet on Cassidy dying?
Oh man, I was thinking about that too. I don't think they would take away his lover twice. That seems so cruel.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I can see them. I don't know. I was about to say they would kill off Jake, but that's horrible too. Everyone dies but Cisco.
Well, that is an outcome I could believe. Or rather, I can imagine Cisco surviving. Everyone dies but O'Brien. There you go. The very first shot, to jump all the way back to the other end of the episode, of the land on Bajor when it pulls out from the pad, I thought that was fantastic.
Oh yeah, that's a nice transition.
It looked like it was an external shot just for the half a second it's on screen. It's an excellent way of putting the viewer in the mind of Cisco, so when he says, hey, Bajor is actually very beautiful, you can relate to that. I think last time they said Bajor is very beautiful, we were kind of confused.
Without a visual reminder, all I think of is flat land and little piles of stone.
All the action takes place in the rundown farming places, which is 98% of the land on Bajor.
He found the one good bit of land.
And then leveraged his Jesus-like status to buy a cut rate.
Are these really the rates you want to charge, Space Jesus? I don't know how the prophets are going to feel about this.
Profitable. Okay, we've not mentioned the bulk of this episode. Ezri does a bunch of stuff. And Worf. Yes, that was a sex joke.
Got it. Makes me think they didn't try very hard to find Worf when she finds him in 2 seconds.
I also thought that. I mean, I like that she did some detective work and followed the tides, which, when you look at the Badlands and how chaotic it is, seems like it would never work.
Right.
But what she did seemed very basic. What was Cisco doing?
Visual inspection. I don't see him. It's hopeless.
For 3 days. Cisco just let her run off and find Worf.
Yeah, they had plenty of runabouts.
That was a new type of runabout, though. Was it not a new class? Oh, I don't know. I think that was a new kind of runabout. Obviously, it was terrible because it exploded.
Oh, I want to point out that Cisco wakes her in the middle of the night to tell her, yeah, we're giving up. He could have just waited. That wasn't pressing that she knows that right away. It was so weird to me that he had her woken up to be given bad news.
That did seem plot related. Surely he should have contacted whoever was the commanding officer. Who is in charge of the station when Cisco's out? Probably Kira, right?
Kira.
Yeah, he should have told Kira, hey, we're coming back. Why is he telling Ezri? That only plays into the awkward, emotional stuff Ezri's going through.
Right. So it stuck out to me. Who can I call who this will emotionally destroy? Got it.
It's kind of the same when he let her run off with the runabout. He just sort of waved it away and said, oh, Dax will do what Dax will do. I kind of expected Cisco to be annoyed that he didn't get his own way.
Maybe he's softening.
Well, he was probably all bubbly from the house buying, land buying, wedding stuff. Riding some good feelings.
And then she uses a tactic that's worthless even now. Never mind hundreds of years in the future, where she pretends they're static.
That's as awkward as the whole Esri Worf awkwardness. It's just a little bit cringy, but it's fine. That's just Esri being a goof. It did make her seem like an infant, though.
It did. I thought maybe it was a valid tactic for one of her hosts, but that still doesn't make sense.
She would know how to generate that kind of interference.
Oh yeah, that would have been better if she pushed a few buttons and then it generated noise. But whatever.
Seeing as Cisco was about to hand wave the whole thing anyway, I guess they didn't really need to think about it.
I half expected her to say, "I'm going through a tunnel. I'm losing signal."
I loved the escape from the crashing shuttle
Because there's an explosion?
because it's a logical and not totally obvious use of the technology they have. So the shuttle's going wrong. They go into the floor and get out some backpacks. And for a moment, for just an instant, I thought, are they going to parachute? Because that would be cool. But no, they just transport down, which makes sense. I didn't think of that. That's what the technology is there for.
It didn't really stand out to me.
Fine. You're dead inside.
Well, that I knew
Oh,
already.
okay.
No argument there.
You may be livened up because one of the things that you've been looking for throughout this series almost appeared.
I have no idea what you're referencing.
Worf's ears?
Oh.
I was going crazy when I was watching this. His hair was bouncing around. I thought, we're finally going to get a flash of Worf's ears.
Did we?
No.
You know why?
Because he has really, really beardy sideburns that block out his definitely existent ears.
Nope, no ears. So I struggle with the Worf and Esri thing. It's interesting that there's this person that holds the memories of his dead wife, but then it just emphasizes that she should have never been allowed to stay on Deep Space Nine. It's such a problem. It shouldn't have happened. And so I like that interaction, but then I hate that they are interacting, that they're there together. So I go back and forth with this.
I'm not one to judge relationships. Well, okay, I am, because I'm about to. I don't think Worf is right for Esri. And the fact that they got jiggy with it reminded me of early on when Esri kept ordering the wrong food because she got her preferences mixed up.
So she got her sexual preferences mixed up?
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, there's a bit of a difference between accidentally ordering the wrong meal and love making out of your comfort zone. I don't know. I'm not saying it was weird or anything.
It seems like both of them are chasing old memories. She holds Jadzia's memories, and we saw her in Worf's room and thinking of Jadzia's words. And then when she was arguing with him, she spoke of the wedding day as if it were hers. And then Worf is obviously not over Jadzia. Just, it's a bad idea for them to get together.
There's a lot of conflicting and mixed up feelings going around, and that just feeds into the awkward sexual tension. Luckily, they've been captured by the Breen, the coldest guys in the universe. So, yeah, that's weird, though. They got picked up by the Breen. What's your opinion on that? Do you remember who the Breen are?
I do not.
Okay, we saw them a couple times. There was a Breen person. They're in the suits. They're super cold. There was a Breen person in the internment camp.
Oh, okay.
And in the mines where Zial was being held, the Breen were the guards, if you remember. I think Ducat or Kira, one of them was punching one on the ground and interrogating them.
Yeah.
Even though they're basically Daft Punk. I think I've also made that joke before.
Yes.
So they're like space Daft Punk mixed with ice magic.
I was trying to think of a Frozen joke.
Frozen joke. Oh.
Because you said ice magic. And all I could think of was Let It Go and Do You Want to Build a Snowman? I couldn't really weave those into the conversation.
Let's not make a Frozen joke though.
That's fine.
Okay. Do you have a quote from the show which you'd like to share with us?
Sort of. I have it, but I don't want to share it.
You have to share it.
Well, why?
Cisco demands that you share it.
She's a Dex. Sometimes they don't think. They just do.
Ironic, considering Jadzia's main hobby was inaction.
Her main hobby was getting knocked out.
When the runabout was getting shot, I thought Ezra was going to get knocked out.
Has she been knocked out this season? She must have been.
I imagine so.
I want there to be damage to the symbiont from being concussed so much.
But that's a head trauma, not tummy trauma. Cisco is right, though. Dex has been very impulsive in the past.
And the future, maybe. We'll see.
Well, the only way we can see the future, well, is A, through weird prophet visions, delving into our private lives, or B, by watching the next episode.
We can do one of those.
I'd recommend B.
Why wouldn't you recommend A?
Because it's annoying. It's not even helpful.
But you get to be transported to different scenes and
Sets.
What?
Different sets.
And there's this glowy golden hue, and people talk to you in a strange cadence. What's not to love?
You're right. Let's watch the next episode. Hopefully it's chock-a-block with prophet visions.
That would be awful.
Right, that's it. We're done here.
All right.